Act and the Defense Production Act and the Department of Defense energy loan guarantees, and basically regulatory approvals to take part ownership of these private companies. So if you want our approval, you got to give us a portion of your company. Now, once the government becomes an investor, the question is, should we help companies like this? Like, is this a good thing or a bad thing? And I think that's a really complicated question to answer, and it really depends on how you look at it. Like, one way to look at this is, yeah, it's a really smart strategic move because it's a way to protect America's future by making sure that important industries like chips, energy, and steel stay in America's control. And that's important in a world where China dominates 90% of rare earths, 70% of lithium refining, and makes most of the world's solar panels. So the question is, how do you compete with a player that has so much influence because it controls its own supply chain? China controls the resources and the manufacturing that makes all of this possible, and the US just can't compete with that. And here's an example. I recently went down a rabbit hole here on YouTube about Chinese electric cars. And I learned that right now, China is selling cars where a lot of them actually have an excess of 400 miles of electric range. They have cars with hypercar territory performance and luxury you can't even compare with until you get to multiple six figures. And the price point for these cars, like $30,000 to $40,000 on average. If you brought these cars over to the US, none of the companies, including Tesla here in the US, would be able to compete with them. Everyone would be buying these Chinese cars. And why is that? Is it because we don't have the technology to build them? No, it's because if the US made them here, they would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. And they do, and that's why they're unaffordable. China can do this partially because they steal the United States IP for research and development because everything is made there, but also because when you get rid of the R&D cost and you have the power of government money to subsidize the manufacturing of cars, no free market can win against it. So for years, the United States watched this happen without competing on the same level because it can't. And now that's starting to change. The US is realizing that this idea of the free market cannot win against a command economy that uses state power and influence to win. So